Okay, so now we continue with the second part of our lesson. Okay, so this is the principles of lens action. Last time na discuss nga natin yung tungkol sa lens, yung structure ng lens, ano ba yung structure ng yung laman ng camera. So dito naman tayo. So principles of lens action. The ability of a lens to bring light to focus or make it diverge derives from the fact that the velocity of light changes as the light passes through different materials. We were able to discuss the different mediums of light, di ba? Merong transparent, translucent, and opaque. At ang sinasabi doon, na bawat medium of light has a different speed of light. Iba yung bilis ng pagdaan ng light sa bawat material. Okay, thus, when a ray of light leaves the atmosphere and enters the lens, it slows down. Bumabagal ang speed of light kapag may tinatamaan siyang medium. According to the angle at which it strikes the lens surface, it is refracted or it changes direction. If you can also remember refraction, ito yung may picture na may transparent na baso, tas may tubig, tapos may lapis or straw sa loob. Tas pag tinignan mo, hindi pantay, hindi diretsong ganun lang yung straw or yung pencil. But ang nangyayari, may part dyan, then may part din dito. Hindi siya pantay. That's refraction. Kasi nga, magkakaiba ang speed of light doon sa mga materials na yun. Kasi tatlo yun, di ba? Yung baso, yung tubig, at saka yung lapis. So the ratio of velocity of light in air to its velocity in the lens material is called the index of refraction of the material. So a lens refracts light rays in such a way that three things will occur. First, light rays will come together at a point. We call that convergence. Nagko-converge kasi nag-come together nga sa isang point lang. The rays will produce an image, katulad ng principle ng photography, di ba? You cannot take a photograph without light. So it will produce an image. And then the rays will move in parallel lines or in diverging lines. Ibig sabihin, naghiwalay. Hindi katulad nung sa number 1, come together at a point, they converge. While in number 3, they diverge. Okay. So eto yung mga lens. Typology of lenses. First, we have convex lens or converging lens. This is used in the focusing assembly mechanism of the camera, a lens that gathers light and refract them to meet at a certain point. So, merong refraction pa rin. Pero, in convex lenses, ang nangyayari, kumbaga tinitipon niya sa isang point, kaya nandito siya. Okay? Okay. So this focal point is the point where an image is in focus. Ibig sabihin, kung ano man yung image na nakatutok dyan, it will become very clear, very focused, very sharp. Okay. At ito is an actual convex or converging lens. At makikita nyo nga na dito sa point na to ay nag-converge yung mga light rays. Ito yung light rays. Then dito sila, nagtagpo. Okay? So a convex lens causes light rays to converge or come together and is also called a positive lens. So convex lens, converging lens, positive lens, pare-parehas lang yan. A positive lens focuses light from a distant source into visible image that appears on then opposite side of the lens to the object. A convex lens is thicker in the middle, dito, than at the edges, kesa dito. Diba? Mas makapal dito, kesa dito sa taas. When parallel rays of light pass through this type of lens, they are bent inward. Magbe-bend inward, papasok siya. Kaya nga, or made to converge and meet at a point called the focus. Kaya nga, ito yun. Diba? They are bent inward, papasok daw. Papasok. And they meet here at the focal point. Okay. Meron tayong simple convex, which is the convexo-convex, and special convex for special positive lens, plano-convex, and concavo-convex. Ito yung mga lenses na yun. Okay? Another type of lens is concave lens or diverging lens. Concave lens or negative lens naman, kabaliktaran lang, spreads the light depending on the amount of curve on the faces of the lens. This is a lens that possesses at least one surface that curves inward. It is a diverging lens spreading out those light rays that have been refracted to it. So, katulad nitong nasa picture, ito yung tatlong light rays, and then they diverge. Naghihiwa-hiwalay sila. Unlike dun sa kanina, sa convex lens, they merge, they converge. Okay? A concave lens is thicker at the edges. Dito, mas makapal siya dyan. Then they are at the center, di ba? Mas manipis dito sa loob, sa gitna. Light rays passing through a diverging lens are bent outward. That's why it's called diverging, di ba? Diverging lens forms only virtual image, which is one from which light rays only appear to come. This one appears as a smaller image just in front of the actual object. Okay. A concave lens is curved inward. It is shaped like two dishes placed back to back. Light passing through a concave lens bends outward or diverges. Concave lenses are generally prescribed for myopic or short-sighted people. Katulad ko, short-sighted ako, kaya itong salamin, pag ganyan siya. They help the eyes produce a sharp image on the retina instead of in front of it. Yan, katulad nitong nasa picture. Kino-correct niya yung pagiging nearsighted mo or myopia. Okay. So, other diverging lenses, simple concave is concavo-concave ang tawag doon, or biconcave, dalawa, kaya siya bi, dalawang concave lenses. Then, special concave, special negative lens. Plano-concave, lenses with one flat surface and one concave, and concavo-convex. And we also have compound lenses. So, simple lenses generally produce imperfect images. This imperfection in image formation can be reduced using compound lenses. Yung mga camera lenses natin, they are compound lenses. Kasi, katulad ng nabanggit natin last time, merong mga tinatawag na elements. Yun yung mga discs sa loob ng lens. Kumbaga, itong buong lens, madami siyang lens sa loob at ang tawag doon element. Now, those elements are different types of lenses. Kaya sila compound lens. Katulad nito. Yan. Kasi nga, ang bawat lens, hindi siya perfect. Talagang may hindi ka makukuha sa bawat lens. Kaya ang dapat mong gawin, pag samasamahin mo ang mga iba't ibang lens para makuha mo yung close to perfect na image. At yun nga yung tinatawag natin na compound lens. Okay. Camera lenses. Lens is referred to in generic terms for wide angle, normal, and telephoto lenses. The three terms refer to the focal length of the lens. Pag sinabi natin focal length, the distance between the image sensor and the focal point. Yun yung focal length. Which is customarily measured in millimeters. So first is types of lenses based on lens speed. Lens speed refers to the largest opening of the diaphragm that the light can pass through. It determines the maximum intensity of the light entering the light tight box. So we have fast lens and slow lens. Syempre, lens speed nga, di ba? Yung bilis nila. So fast lens, obviously, lens with high lens speed. A high lens speed is used during nighttime or in a dark room. And then slow lens, of course, is a lens with low lens speed. This is used during daytime or where the room is very bright. Next, types of lenses based on focus. So, pag sinabi nating focus, the means by which the object distance is estimated or calculated to form sharp images. Yung malinaw at hindi blurry ang isang image. That means it is in focus. So, first type of lens is autofocus. Obvious naman siguro kung anong trabaho niyan, di ba? AFSLRs focus using a phase detection system that slits the incoming light into two or more parts and compares them to determine the amount of defocus. So when we say autofocus, hindi na ikaw ang mangangalikot doon sa focus ring. Focus ring as in yung literal na iniikot doon sa lens para maging sharp yung image or maging focused yung subject mo. But again, in autofocus, yung sinasabi dyan na face detection system, siya nang bahala para mag-adjust ng settings. Pero, yung number 2 natin is manual focus lens. Yun na nga, manual. Ikaw ang mag-iikot. You simply turn the focusing ring by hand until the subject is sharp in the viewfinder. Yan, ikaw yung mag-iikot. Kaya nga siya manual. Okay. Another type of lenses according to the angle of view. First is normal lens, a lens with a focal length equal to the diagonal measure of the image area. The image area of 35mm camera is 24 by 36mm. Thus, a normal lens for any 35mm SLR is 50mm international standards. 50mm lens may have an actual focal length of 48 to 52 millimeters. And the normal lens has a picture angle of 5 degrees that correspond to the viewing angle of the human eye. This means na ang normal lens, kung ano ang nakikita ng tao, it's very close to that. Yun yung gamit ng normal lens. So, you use this kapag ang subject mo is hindi naman masyadong malayo. Yung wala namang kilometro yung distance niya mula sa'yo. Kasi yun, siguro nasa tapat mo lang. Yan, ang gamit dyan, normal lens. Kaya nga sabi dyan, corresponds to the viewing angle of the human eye. So, characteristics ng normal lens. It has optimum area coverage than any lens type. It has minimum distortion and fewer common lens defects. And angle of view equal to 75 degrees but not less than 45 degrees. Okay? Ang pinakamaganda dyan is that it has minimum distortion. Ibig sabihin, hindi katulad sa fisheye lens na medyo curved sa side. Later, i-discuss natin yan. Dito muna tayo sa wide angle lens. Nasa pangalan na rin kung ano yung purpose niya, di ba? This has shorter focal length than normal lens. Shorter focal length, anong ibig sabihin? Mas malapit ang makukuhanan mo. Mas malayo ang makukuhanan mo. Mas malawak. Okay? It covers a picture angle of 60 to 90 degrees. It enables photographing a widely extended scene from a close proximity or within a confined area. Pansinin ninyo, yung sa normal lens, 75 o 45 to 75 degrees ang kaya niyang makuhanan na angle of view. Pero sa wide angle lens, 60 to 90 kasi nga wide siya, mas malawak yung makukuhanan niya. The range for wide angles for 35 SLR cameras include 8mm, 24mm, 28mm, and 35mm. The 28mm and 35mm are the most important for general wide angle for police work. Kasi kapag kumukuha ka ng general view ng isang photograph, na banggit na natin yan dati, di ba? Yung general view, medium view, or long range view, yung other term for general view. Ang kinukuha na natin is the picture of the whole crime scene. Kung building yan, of course, you need to use wide angle. Kasi kung normal lens, hindi mo makukuhanan yan ng buo. So, eto ang pinaka-ginagamit for police work, for general wide-angle photography. So, here, The characteristics of a wide-angle lens is that reduced scale but increases area coverage compared to the lens at the same distance. Increased deep perception at a given scale, increased distortion toward the edges of the negative material. So, most likely merong mga distortion dito sa gilid. But very minimal naman. Hindi naman sa lahat ng pagkakataon, very obvious siya. Reducing illumination from the center toward the edges of the negative material, and angle of view exceeds 75 degrees. And umaabot pa nga ng 90, di ba? Next is telephoto lens. A telephoto lens or long focus lens has a longer focal length and provides a close-up image of a distant object. In contrast to the wide-angle lens, this covers a small field of view and shallower depth of field. This lens produces a flat composition. Far objects appear enlarged, while near objects do not appear proportionally large. Ito yung mga ginagamit for surveillance photography. Kasi kaya niyang makakuha ng image kahit nasa malayo. Siyempre, kung nagsa-surveillance ka, hindi naman pwede na nasa tapat ka mismo ng bahay, di ba? Siyempre, lalayo ka para hindi ka mahuli. And yun nga, ang ginagamit doon is telephoto lens. In wide-angle lens, mas malaki, mas malawak. Sa telephoto lens, mas maliit, pero mas malapit. Yun ang purpose ng telephoto lens. So, lenses beyond 58 millimeters are included in the group of telephoto lenses. For identification shots in police works, lenses of 85 to 135 millimeter focal length are frequently used. Long telelenses are beyond 200 millimeters. So, ito yung sample. Ito yung buong CT. Kung normal lens lang ang gagamitin mo, malamang ganito makukuha mo. Pero kung telephoto lens, mas maliit nga ang field of view. Narrow field of view. But it is closer. Mas malapit na. Diba? So, increased scale but reduced area coverage. Ayun na nga. Yung field of view mo mas maikli or mas maliit compared to any lens type. Decreased depth perception. Image quality usually deteriorates, which is apparent when subject is in great motion, and angle of view less than 45 degrees. Then we have super wide angle lens. In this category are fisheye lenses with the degrees angle of view. Focal lengths run from 6 mm to about 18 mm. F-stop ranges begin at f18 but average f3.5 and f4. Diba? Kung makikita nyo to, kung mapapansin ninyo, yung image, mas malawak nga ang nakuha niya. Pero distorted siya kasi nakapaganyan siya. Medyo naka-curve siya. Kaya nga siya fisheye lens. Kuha mo nga tong lahat. Kasi kung normal lens lang, baka itong building lang. Pero dahil nga super wide angle lens siya, pati yung nasa, kumbaga malawak na malawak yung kuha niya. Ang nangyayari nga lang, nabebenda ganun. Kaya siya fisheye. Okay. Next is macro lenses. Macro is derived from the Greek word which means to enlarge. In photographic terms, a macro lens is designed with extended focusing capabilities to shoot a few inches from a subject. A lens used for close-up photography and particularly in taking pictures of minute objects. So obviously, ang kinukuhanan na pictures gamit ang macro lens ay yung mga bagay na sobrang maliit. Tulad nitong ladybug, hindi ba? Ito mukhang malaki. But in reality, maliit lang siya. This is because a macro lens has been used to take this photograph. Using a macro lens, the subject being photographed will appear bigger than its actual size. Katulad nga nitong bug na ito. This group of lenses is most helpful in fingerprint work, in recording evidence such as pollen grains, hair, fiber, and the like. And we have zoom lenses. By turning a ring on the lens barrel, you are able to focus as close as 3 to 4 inches and still use zoom capability. Such lens gives you close-ups as well as variable focal length. So, katulad nitong nasa picture. Okay.